Are you curious about divination, but you're not sure if to start with oracle cards or tarot? This video is for you. I know that when we're starting in our spiritual path, divination is one of those first topics, and honestly, I would like to think of it as one of the most important topics when we're just starting out, because divination helps us have a medium to contact the otherness, or at least a way of confirming or knowing to do something or to not do something, or just overall as a mirror into our deeper selves, or also to look beyond the mirror and connect again with the spiritual realm, or with our ancestors, or whatever spirits that we really want to connect with. And in this video, I want to explore this big question that we might get: should I get an oracle deck or should I get a tarot deck? Because these are very two different ways of divination. Yes, it is still considered cartomancy or cardmancy. I don't know how it's in English actually. Let me Google that. Well, it just says card reader on the internet. But anyways, the point is that a divination through cards, even though both tarot and oracle decks is doing divination through cards, they really do have a very different taste. And that's the topic I want to explore with you guys today. You might be wondering, but why will I talk about this? Well, if you didn't know who I am, my name is David, and I've been a practicing tarot reader for 15 years. Well, I started when I was very young, when I was 13, with tarot cards, and I also had some oracle decks. I have this channel to create content around esotericism, mysticism, magic, and just spiritual practices in general, while I take you along in my life here in Granada, Spain. Since I was very young, I both had oracle decks and tarot cards. First, I got into tarot, and honestly, it has been the medium I've used the most. The oracle cards that I have with me are actually even more of the newer ones I've had. Before in the past, I've had some and I just given them away. Just also my tarot cards, I feel that there's a moment that they just finish their cycle with us, and it's good to just pass them on. So, what exactly are tarot cards? Tarot cards are a medium for us to connect with ourselves, with our psyche, and with the spiritual realm. I have a video where I talk more about everything that has to do with tarot, mostly from my personal experience and all the years I've been working with tarot. You can click the link right here, and I have a whole video on tarot. But in a few words, tarot cards are a medium of divination that has been going on, for millennia now. I think at least since 1450 or the 14,000s, for sure. We have, historical evidence of these cards. And through all these years, these cards have evolved, and it has reached such deep, meaningful, esoteric meaning that they're one of the main divination methods, at least in pop culture, or generally even in most witchy or magical spheres. And what is important about tarot and what separates tarot from oracle cards is the structure that it has. Tarot are 78 cards, which are divided into 22 major arcana and then 56 minor arcana. And then there's other divisions within these cards, which this is not the video. I'm going to get into the structure of tarot deeply, but that is the overall structure. And even if there are different schools of tarot or different schools of thought within tarot, this is the main structure. And you can find different tarots where they might change the order of the major arcana, they might change some correspondences here and there, but it sustains at least the overall structure of the deck. And who would be more interested in using tarot? I would say people who like structure, people who are more academic and that want to really get into a system which will never stop. I feel it's a system that you'll always be learning and expanding on. For example, I fully haven't gotten a hold on, the whole tree of life and where the tarot cards stand within the tree of life. Like Kabbalah, I still haven't really grasped all the concepts within Kabbalah. So that is something that I'm still waiting to study and to learn more about. But then there's also astrological correspondences, alchemical correspondences. It's like, it's a medium where you never stop learning from. So I feel that the person who wants tarot is someone that's like more structured, a Virgo like me, who likes structure, who likes a bit of, deep investigation. And I feel just like a very robust divination system, that will be tarot. While on the other hand, if you're looking for a more like intuitive or a friendlier approach to divination, I would recommend easier an oracle deck, because oracle decks are just kind of like channeled images or channeled mediums, but they themselves have their own structure created by the author or created by a group of people. But then also like oracle cards, because there's other kinds of oracles, like, there's runes, or there's like bone throwing, which is also another oracle, which are more ancient. I think it's one of like the most, like bone throwing is one of the most ancient, divination methods, and runes are extremely ancient as well. But I'm talking about like oracle cards, not just oracles in general. And there's even oracle cards with runes on them, or there's oracle cards with like astrological things, with angels, with demons, with like so many different mediums, or like so many different, spiritual knowledge. There's just like oracle cards with just like messages, or with alchemical symbols, or just like, they're infinite. Like the amount, like I have like an angel oracle deck, and then I have Green Witch Oracle deck, which is about plants, and it does have some astrological correspondences as well. But you see, it's like it could be angelic, or it could be very earthy, it could be astrological, or it could be honestly anything. Like I think there's probably even oracles around worlds of cartoon, and I do feel oracle cards really help us tap into our intuition, into our creativity. And I think they're very playful, at least like from my experience, or at least like the oracle decks I've had, they're very playful. And I feel that we can really use them together. I used to do a tarot spread, and then if I want like some extra messages or guidance, I would, take out some oracle cards. Hi, this is David that is editing the video, and that final clip actually just cut off. And looking at the whole part of oracle decks, I also don't want to come off as saying or making it feel that oracle cards are less powerful than tarot decks. I do believe people that use oracle cards, or certain oracle cards, can reach very profound and deep meaning, and I think they can give just as accurate, and there are oracle systems that can be just as complicated and as deep as tarot. I do think that tarot, because of its popularity, it has grown to be more structured, it has gone through more cultures, societies, and like mystical groups or cults, as they like to call them. So it has had like more time for people to write about them, or to just like explore the tarot cards even more deeply. But I know that there are like oracle decks, or even just like regular reading cards where people can give deep, profound readings. So I really want to be clear on that oracle decks are also very important, and they're just not playful and fun. They can also be very serious and very meaningful. But as you all know me, even with tarot, I always like to tell people to have fun, to enjoy themselves. That I do feel that a very important part of divination or divination methods is to have a good imagination, a good ability to see and to feel and to create stories within the the symbols and information that we're getting. And just to close off, the thing about oracle cards is just like there's multiple and different, and some are more complicated, some are easier, some just have like, you know, a little message, some are very alchemical, some are very deep and meaningful and part of other spiritual practices. So, you know, I think it just really depends on your personal practice and where you stand. Like maybe it's very common in the magical practice that you are walking to have a certain oracle deck, or it's just tarot, one of like the main divination methods. Like for example, I know that in most contemporary witchcraft circles or also high magic circles, it's very normal to use tarot, and that was the route I took, and it's the cards that I connect with the most. But I also do love my oracle decks, and I think I should also bring them back into my tarot readings because I do think they help give some insight. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't say to either go with oracle decks because they are easier. Like, what is the path that you're walking? Are you walking more a traditional witchcraft path? Then you might want to think of other means of divination, though tarot is always there as well. Or do you like more like ceremonial magic and you like to read up on that? Then maybe tarot is the most common divination method. I feel like it's really about listening to your heart, and also like don't think that tarot is just like this huge, impossible medium to grasp and understand. That is not true. I think we can all understand and grasp it and put it into practice since, you know, the beginning when we're just starting. Obviously, we're going to develop more abilities and we're going to develop a different way of connecting with these cards, so don't feel scared to try out tarot as well. I just think it's about really finding a deck, whether it be tarot or oracles, where we feel this very deep connection to it, and more than connection, a curiosity to explore the images, a curiosity to explore those cards and that symbolism, and that it feels a joy to study them, it feels a joy to stare at them and to be in their company, to feel good when you have them in your hand. I feel that's also a very good, you know, signal. So before I finish this video, I would like to know, do you use any of these methods? Which one are you more interested in? And if you'd like to see more of me, you can see my socials down here. I go live almost every day, unless if I'm very busy or just things are happening in my life. I try to go live on TikTok every day, and I would like to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed night, and that you can feel peace in your path. Bye.